For tonight's video, I thought I'd just amend my previous video a little bit, because the last time I said that usually you don't get equivocation to be very sort of immediate and very logically obvious, in a sense where you just have a statement where A and not A, just by using words in two different ways, as if it was like a formal logical argument. But I was thinking about it, and actually one place where one does find it is in the media, in journalism is one place where one often finds this. And the reason why it can sort of work in journalism, and this is something to just be aware of. The reason why it can work in journalism is because there's like three layers of things that's happening in a newspaper article. And this especially applies to fact checks. Fact checks are really prone to this. So what will happen is the headline will say one thing, splash, dog bites man. Or what? No, sorry. Man bites dog. That's the news story. Dog bites man isn't. Man bites dog. That's the story. Yeah. So, and then you'll find that a lot of people will only read that headline, and often this will then you'll hear the story then being repeated in society because people will only read the headline and then they have to go about their daily business. But then in the body of the article, there'll be some sort of details like, okay, well, I don't know about man bites dog, but there'll be some sort of form of equivocation. And often what one finds in fact check articles is that somewhere, usually you can actually start out like 3/4 down the article, because that's usually where they put the sort of contrary information, the sort of thing that actually proves that the claim was actually false all along, and false in that way that requires an equivocation over terms. So it might be it might be something like Harry met Sally, and the headline will be Harry met Sally, false claim, and then there'll be a long story in the fact check about how, well, a lot of people have been saying that Harry met Sally, and this is a terrible slander because these two people are actually really nice people, and they didn't mean to do anything bad, and then the story will kind of carry on, and they'll sort of draw some narrative around Harry meeting Sally. But about 3/4 of the way in, there'll be something where they'll say, well, even though Harry met Sally on that day, they'd actually met years before at a cocktail party. So the claim that Harry met Sally on that particular day is false. That's what's false, because Harry met Sally a couple of years before. But of course, the whole claim that's being actually investigated was that Harry met Sally on that particular day. And this is a technique that, there'll be variations and stuff like that, but that's frequently what the technique is. So that's just an interesting way where equivocation is used in that almost explicit kind of way, where one word gets used in two completely different senses, where if you'd put that right next to each other, you'd say, but hang on, that doesn't make any sense. And the really interesting thing about that is really, in some sense, the series is about proof and evidence. So, and one of the early things that I mentioned was that proof and evidence is more about power, especially in these sorts of contexts. So it becomes interesting, and sort of one might ask oneself, why would one even bother doing that? Why not just make the false claim and just omit the relevant details? Why put that there? Now, there's some theories. One theory I've heard is that if the goal is to create division and to create excitement and a buzz around the story, you want people to argue over it. And so if you're wanting to drive clicks, often using this sort of misleading equivocation that's sort of hidden in the thing, can create a controversy where there really shouldn't be. There's really no controversy. The bare facts are just the bare facts. So that may be one reason. And another reason may just be that people inherently reject these sort of contradictions. Our minds, the cognitive dissonance is that whole idea that our minds don't like having these conflicting ideas floating around. So even if you are deliberately setting out to mislead, there will be tells. And of course, this is what makes a really great salesman a great salesman, because they can use equivocation like that to convince themselves of an absurdity, to the point where they don't even see it as absurd anymore. If you look at it from the outside and you look at it and you say, but these two claims are conflicting and they negate each other. But because it's kind of hidden like that within a narrative like that, the person who's trying to sell you the thing can make peace within themselves. So it's more about the person who's actually writing the article and their sense of nobility and well-being. I mean, that's one theory about why that might be in there. I mean, another more mundane reason might be just to avoid libel. If it comes to a legal question, one can say, well, here we go. There would be nothing that would be untrue in the whole thing. So even though there is this absurdity hidden in the thing, every individual element within the thing would be verifiable and true even. And so one thing about defense against libel would usually be that truth is a defense against libel, and so I'm not specifically aware that calling on logical invalidity makes that problematic. So that may be a third possible reason. But generally, if one's in the habit of only reading headlines and reacting to headlines, and reading the text as if the headline is true, and in your mind trying to justify what you think is true in the headline by what's in the text, that's generally not a very good way of engaging with media. Instead, what one should be doing is treating it a little bit more logically or a little bit more scientifically, which is to say, looking for contradictions. And it might be a little... I don't necessarily always feel that a contradiction necessarily always invalidates an argument, because, as I say, one can be cautious with claims and one can sequester claims. But usually when it's something egregious like that, where the headline makes one claim and then in the body you realize that claim can only really be sustained by some sort of equivocation over terms, yes, then a single falsity like that really makes the whole thing crumble. So that comes down a little bit to questions of burdens of proof, and where should the burden of proof lie when you're reading claims in the media or even in science. But that's a topic for a different evening. So for now, have a good one. Cheers.